I'm Dar Herzl. I am a junior at Creighton Prep. And this is to my cousin Joseph Patrick, my cousin Joseph Patrick's 1 hour life. When I heard you were going to be born, I was ecstatic. Joseph Patrick, my cousin, who was going to be born into your family of 3 girls, and I deciding to be the one to raise you to be a proper boy. However, I had a reputation for trouble and was in 4th grade, so I was not exactly the greatest role model. Arriving at the hospital, everybody was walking around seemingly anxious. I believed this to be them being overcome by joy and not being able to cope with the feeling. Coming into your hospital room, I saw your mother weeping on her hospital bed, your father holding her hand, and I believed this to be silent prayer and tears of joy given up for your successful birth. However, I did not know that a child being born at 20 weeks and a very sick mother were ingredients for a disaster. Excitedly asking my father if I could hold you, he walked over to your mother. Bringing you back, I couldn't quite see you in his arms, but when you were placed in mine, you were no bigger than my own 12-year-old hand. Laying in my palm, you slowly stirred, your minuscule arms clenched to your chest, mouth sucking in air, but you did not cry. Suddenly then, we were talking, not in words, but in heartbeats. Your tiny thumping heart went into my hand, up my arm, into my shoulder, across my chest, finally receiving a message at my heart and my own, sending one right back out to you. You told me you felt weak and scared. I believed this just to be simple shock from the birth, and I told you that it would be all right. You told me you were cold, so I wrapped you in your blanket, held you close, and my heart wrote you a lullaby, drifting you off into sleep that I would never see you awaken from. The funeral was 4 days later. As I saw your casket, I finally understood what had become of you, yet I did not cry. Mothers wept and children screamed, but I just stood there in my pew. Arriving at your grave, everyone had gone. The rain was falling from the sky as if angels were weeping for a child that had lived no longer than 60 minutes. I stood there staring, amazed, scared, and angry. Falling to my knees, I smacked my fist on the ground. Why? I said in a whisper, listening for some kind of reply from anyone. I'm sorry, I croaked to no one. Laying on all fours, the rain had stopped falling, yet still leaked from my eyes. I had been there for close to 5 hours then, giving up time to you at your mourning at your grave longer than you had been lived. I smacked my fist to the ground one more time. Can you hear me, Joseph Patrick? I listened again for one more reply, but nothing came. Finally, when I was about to get up, I felt a slow tremor from the ground, like a heartbeat, telling me, thank you for keeping me warm.